Okay, looks like we are live in full effect on a Sunday night here. The wind is howling outside, the rain is falling, but don't worry, you're safe and cozy here with good old Father Edbud in the shoe sanctuary. Beast is here, just collapsed on the floor asleep as per usual. This is the 55th live stream on the channel. I can't quite believe it. Cheeks to 777 says, it's time. It certainly is, sir. It is time. Lots to get through today. There's loads of stuff going on. Stephen Crimley says, on a Sunday, it's as traditional as Heartbeat. On ITV. I can remember that. I used to watch Heartbeat while I was like doing homework and stuff that I should have probably done like earlier in the week. Before like Monday came around, the dreaded Monday. Mondays don't seem that bad anymore. When you get older, you just sort of don't mind as much, do you? It's like, yeah, I know Monday's coming, and I know that Tuesday will be here before I even know it, and then it will be Friday before I've even had a chance to get upset about it. And yeah, there we go. So I'm going to stop moaning on about things now and talk about some running-related activities. First, I've got to say hello to everybody that's here. Jotaro is here. I've heard the first comment as well, so well done for you. Got the gold. He's going to sell the gold medal as well. Fantastic. JBS is here. I was trying to decipher the message there. Well, I wasn't too sure of what that was all about, but thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Bas L says the long-haired general, she can watch whatever she wants whilst you're on, young sir. Oh, I see. Right. Yeah. That's probably the same thing that's happening right now downstairs. There'll be like Call the Midwife or something along those lines being watched. Always makes me cry, that show. At least once every single episode. It always happens. Mr. Asthenia is here. Thank you. One of our members there. Thank you for joining us on this fantastic Sunday. Steve H. And we also have Carl Sagan. Will we see a Puma fast forward review? I don't know. I got a bit excited this week, actually. Puma did fire some shoes over to me, but it was another pair of the Forever Run Nitro in black. So I'm going to save those back for when I head over to Boston and keep those, fresh, so I can use those as sort of like a running and kind of casual leisure shoe. A leisure shoe. I'll have to get myself a leisure suit as well. Hamaz is here. He says, hello, Ed. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. And we have the man. Someday I've got to meet up with this guy. Stephen C. 1984. He says, hello, Rooney. Rooney is here. The chairman of the EDDBUD running shoe reviews. And the vice chairman is asleep at the moment. But I may stand down as the chairman. You'll understand what I'm talking about. Elaine is here. Says, hi, Ed. First time your live show. Thanks for tuning in. Great to see you here. Thank you. And Luke Acorn is always here. I used to teach you Luke a little while ago. Great chap. Hope things are going well for you, Luke. I don't know what you're up to these days. You have to let us know. Mark Dyer, homework. He said, oh, yeah, homework. I used to get really stressed out about that. Now I look back on it, it's a bit ridiculous, really, getting stressed out about things like that. Steve. Oh, so JBS says he's had his first out in a pair of the Ghost 15. First time brute, straight out of the box, 18 miles, low heart rate. They get a bad rap, but he really enjoyed the shoe. Yeah, I really enjoyed testing that one out, actually, to be honest. Ghost 15, it does what it says on the tin. Literally, it's like a Hammerite, only better for running. I can't imagine Hammerite's very good for you if you're breathing it in while you're painting a fence. Steve says, evening Ed, not a PB in my half marathon today, but 13 seconds slower. Well, that's still pretty good, though, if you've been injured. To still come in with that sort of level of performance, you've got to be pretty happy about that. So, well done to Steve. We shall ring the bell of just sort of like a good effort. Well done. It's a good effort. You should, sort of congratulate yourself, maybe with a nice large helping of Christmas pudding, as I did yesterday when I was sort of getting ready to do a long run today. Massive bowl of Christmas pudding and double cream. It seemed to do the trick. I had sort of amazing bottomless pit of energy today, so I can recommend that all to you. And just sleep for about 5 hours as well. That seems to work very well for me. I don't recommend that at all. D-Boy says, hello Ed, thank you for tuning in, good to see you here. Let's Go Steve-O says, evening Ed, good to see the live streams back. Yeah, good to be doing one today. I thought rather than do a video, I'll do a live stream because all the cats seem to enjoy the live streams. If you are in the chat, everybody, please hit that like button. It really does help us out here at the channel an awful lot. It really does, actually, in terms of the algorithm and all that kind of, the maths, the big maths. Big maths, that's going to be the new slogan for this year, I think, big maths. I'm going to have to take off the jacket here. I'm getting a bit warm. It's very warm. 10 degrees out there. 10 degrees. It was like 0 the other day, and now it's 10. There's no careful sort of progression upwards. It just goes freezing, boiling. That's how it is. Mr. Asthenia says, looking forward to hearing all about Brighton Marathon. Yep, that's coming up in a few weeks' time. I am going to be hitting it for the Weymouth Half Marathon next Sunday. I've got to do a gig in Weymouth on the Saturday, so it's ideal. I'll stay in like a hotel or something, or maybe Mrs. Muggins's guest house or something, B&B, and then I can go over to do the half marathon. Good tune-up race for the marathon. I hear it's not all that hilly. Some people complain it's a bit hilly or something, but it didn't look all that bad from the profiles and stuff. It's like 400 foot or something. I don't know. Was it 400 foot, 400 meters? Something along those lines. It's not that bad, really. When you run around Yeovil, you know, everything seems pretty flat then. So that's cool. I'll be there. So maybe if you're in the area, come on down. Weymouth Half Marathon. We're going to have a real knees up down to Weymouth. I might have some cockles and some fish and chips afterwards as well, and probably some fermented apple drink as well. That sounds like the sort of thing that I need to do. I'd be quite happy to do that right now, in fact, but I'm doing the live stream, so let's get to it. Rejon at UK says, hi Ed, thank you for tuning in. Striot says, hi Ed, Clifton 9 or the Triumph 20? I don't think I've tried either of those out. But I think I'd be more inclined to pushing towards the Triumph 20. I don't think the Clifton's changed all that much from when I tried it a couple of years back, and it wasn't a great one. Right, so yeah, someone's just mentioned here, JBS has said, I do have a pair of the Vimasi V40s here, and I'm very excited to test these out. I'm waiting until it stopped raining, because they're going to get, you know, very, very dirty very quickly. But I'm really, really excited to have these in hand. Over from America, Vimasi have sent them over to me. I've been chatting with them for like a couple of years, I think, since I first heard about their shoes, and I was really, really excited to get these in the post the other day. It's appeared. And they're very, very interesting, very different take on a running shoe, this one. So hopefully I can get a review out maybe towards the end of the week, perhaps. I want to get quite a few miles into this one to really delve into it, you know, to look at the details with my magnifying glass. Not entirely sure I've ever used a magnifying glass to do a review of a shoe, but yeah, maybe I could do that. Maybe that's a thing that people want to see. Let me know if that's something you want to see. Peter Clark says, hi Ed, evening to you too. Flip Base J89 says, greetings from Poland. Awesome, thanks for tuning in, good to see you here. Chris McFarland is here as well. Great to be here, always a pleasure. I can echo that sentiment too. Rob Weatherall is in the house, always here. Sam Ritt says, the first time tuning in for the live streams, looking forward to it. Let's Go Steve says, EDDBUD the Claude Jeremiah Greengrass. Oh yeah, I like it. Good, very good, very good. I see where you're going with that one. Timothy Brammer, hi Ed, tough cross-country meeting in wet Cambridgeshire. Blimey, yeah. Malt loaf. Oh yeah, I could tell you what I could do with a piece of malt loaf, a little bit of butter on there and a nice cup of tea. Mrs. EDDBUD, are you listening down there? No, I'll just have to put up with some water. This is cold. It's very cold. Thomas Lee is here, first time on the live stream, and IQ by Zero says, hello sir. Timothy Brammer is recovering. Yeah, you do some good recovering, put your feet up and have a good rest, warm up, and get some sustenance on board. That's what you've got to do. It does look like there's some sort of super chat here, but I can't see it. I can't see it. Let's see if we can find it. I don't know where it is. It hasn't popped up yet. Oh, it's JBS. Thank you, JBS. I really do appreciate the super chat there. It does help out the channel. It keeps Beast in Meow Mix for another couple of days or something. Thank you very much for your support, for your long-term support as well. Liam Dobbin is in the house, and Paul Parker too. I wonder if it is actually the Paul Parker that used to play for Manchester United. Probably not. But thank you anyway, Paul, for tuning in. Well, we get a musical interlude. Brienzi 111271. I'll come up with something to perhaps towards the end. I'll have it in the background. There's a background process to try and come up with something for you. NJG402. He says, hi, ran a 59:51 on the half marathon. Bashir, I was going to say, my word. So that's crazy. That is a serious time there. Belgian record, yes. 59:51 the half. My word. I can't even comprehend moving at that speed for that amount of time. That is great. I could try and pronounce the first name there. It's Emmanuel Jones. I want a bell for a good effort in the Inverness half today. Bang, bing. I don't have a bell, so I could pick up Beast or something, but that would just probably involve me getting a lacerated hand. So, well done there. Inverness half. That sounds good. I want to do the Inverness half at some point. That sounds like a fantastic thing to do. Cheeks says, hit the like. Big maths equals a GCE in maths. Oh, yes. That's what we need. Certainly with some of the prices of shoes these days, Stephen C., we need a GC in maths. We need our chief financier to make sure the deal's a good one. Liam Dobbin says, any recommendations on a half marathon race shoe? Half marathon race shoe, I don't think you can go far wrong, to be honest with you, than the Metaspeed Sky Plus from ASICS. That one for me has everything I perhaps want in a half marathon shoe. It's got a lot of cushion there. The grip is stellar, but the profile of the shoe just kind of keeps out of the way of your foot. It doesn't feel like it's kind of commanding around your foot too much. I've always felt that one kind of drifts away as I go through the race. Well, Weatherall has a picture of a robot there. I'm not entirely sure, but I like robots. We're very into robots in this house. My son loves robots. The Creenow Runner says, I did a Surrey half, 1:36, 3 weeks till Brighton. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll get a nice cold day. I don't like heat. I never operate very well in the heat. Cold with no wind. That's what we want. Peter Clark says, how long did your shoulder injury keep you out for? I was out for about 3 weeks, and I thought I was going to lose my mind, so I kind of bandaged my arm up so it didn't move around too much and went out running very slowly. It probably wasn't the greatest of ideas, but I had to do something. I had to. So just be careful out there if you do get out. The ribs, I did get hit in it with a football the other day, which kind of hurt my ribs, and that I found running really hard, actually, really affected my breathing. But yeah, I've got pretty much full mobility back in the arm now. It's pretty much just normal, I guess, really. I've done loads of gigs since as well, and that seems to have helped a little bit and brought the strength back in the arm. So yeah, it's feeling good now. Feeling really good. I'm really at peak fitness now. Strava's sort of barking at me the other day that I'd reached this sort of level back probably when I last did the Yeovil half back like a year ago. So it's really good to get back there. I hope you can get back out there soon, Peter, and you're feeling better. Ale says, I need to buy a new long run shoe. What do you recommend? At the moment, if you want to grab something that's a little bit little different, I would recommend possibly the Puma Forever Run Nitro. That is a great shoe. Took that out for 12 miles today, around about 8 minutes per mile, kept it really consistent, keeping it in the easy zone, and that for me has lots and lots of things that I like. It's a nice controlled cushion there, and a really nice upper. It's not too sort of bulky and overdone, I suppose. So yeah, check that one out. Ale, the Forever on Nitro from Puma. I think that could work out very well. Richard Rendell's in the house. Good to see you here, Richard. Baz at L as well. The super chat. Thank you, Baz. It's much appreciated. Did you hear that, Beast? You can get. You all right, Beast? Yeah, Beast is all right. I was just checking. You know, she's pretty old these days. She's all right. You okay? You want to come on the camera? No? Come on, come on the camera. Everyone wants to see Beast. Come on. Come on. Sorry, guys, it doesn't get any more exciting than this. A man trying to pick up a cat. Here it is. Oh my gosh. Hello, Beast. There we go. Well, have you got much to say to anybody? No. Do you want to go back to sleep? It's very, very heavy, this animal. Oh, goodness me. There we go. Good old Beast. One of the most loyal creatures that I have ever known. Very loyal. There we go. A cat interlude for you. Rob Weatherall says, Alphafly V1 for long runs. Yeah, you can't really go wrong and pick up a pair of those on a nice deal. Always good. Matt is running, says howdy doody. Thanks for tuning in, Matt. Yeah, Rob Sen here. Him and Tim Gross still waiting for the Vaporfly 3s. Large sizes proving harder to dispatch. It's a bit odd, isn't it? It does make you wonder whether there's a bit of a mix-up there. They perhaps only got so many pairs of those. I've got to be honest, there's bits I like about the shoe. You've probably seen my review already. And there's bits that I perhaps don't like. The upper is certainly something I'm a bit undecided about at the moment. I had some real problems on the first run. Second run, though, marathon target pace for me, it was ridiculous, really. I just seemed to hardly have to try. So it has made me kind of wonder what I should do. Do I go with this? Do I go with the Puma? I'm really not sure. Where is the other? Here it is. Yeah, I've got a bit of a decision to make here. It's kind of weird saying this is the softer shoe, because this certainly is. In terms of stack, there's quite a bit more underfoot here in the Vaporfly 3, so I need to make a bit of a decision about that. It may be that I use this at the Weymouth Half next week and see how I get on with it over that distance. But it's certainly a softer ride in the Puma now. It's kind of weird. I can't believe I would be saying that at this point, but it does feel like that to me. So Red John is John Butter. Nice to see you there, John. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Obviously see you at the gig on Saturday. That'd be great to get playing again. Been a few weeks. Gary says, Ed, are you spending all your YouTube millions on shoes and not buying clothes? Didn't you have that t-shirt on yesterday? Yeah, I did. I kind of put it back on. I found that I was only sort of wearing it for about like a couple of hours or something before I went to bed. I really do like this shirt. It is exceptionally warm though. I don't know whether certain t-shirts there's a sort of quality grading on them or something, but yeah, I do love my Jordan t-shirt. Ozenfant is in the house, sort of our members. Thanks for tuning in from Vienna. Daz says, hi Ed, are you a midfoot or forefoot striker? I always hear about shoes in regards to forefoot strikers. Yeah, this is a thing that I find a bit odd. Now, there's certain people that are exceptionally good runners that appear to midfoot strike. Kipchoge, for example, you know, the greatest marathon runner there's ever been. They've looked at kind of how he runs, and he's pretty much a midfoot striker. So I think when I'm running very slowly, I'm kind of almost, I would suggest almost heel striking, really. You know, just very, very easy running. Today, sort of heel to midfoot. When you're running faster, you're always going to get up onto your toes. There's very few people that are going to be running at, you know, sort of 5 or 10k pace that are going to be, you know, really severely heel striking. So I'd suggest, yeah, I'm a midfoot striker, and then dependent on pace, it's gonna switch up and change a little bit. Awesome. We've got a new member there, Ken from Philly. Thanks for dropping in, becoming a new member and supporting the channel. That is really, really appreciated. Thank you very much, Ken from Philly. It does help us out a lot, guys, bringing in new shoes and stuff to sort of test out. So there's quite a few members out there now. Really, really is appreciated. Thank you. Michael says, Ed, you rock, man. Thanks. You rock as well, Michael. Everybody does in their own way. Thinking about trying the Puma Fast R. Would you drop the money for it or recommend against it? Gotta be honest, I actually prefer the DV8 Nitro Elite 2. The Fast R Nitro's Elite is fun. I think if you liked the Tempo Next Percent from Nike, where you've got a slightly more firm heel and that softer sort of mid to forefoot, then that'll work really well for you. If you want something that's perhaps a little bit closer to something like the Vaporfly or like the Endorphin Pro 3 or something, then the DV8 Nitro Elite 2 is probably the one to test out. So I think you've got to go sort of one way or the other there, really. I guess the DV8 Nitro Elite 2 is supposed to be kind of like their kind of marathon sort of standard kind of shoe. I know that sounds a bit odd because there's like a carbon plate in it, but the other one's really quite way out. It's either going to really work for you or not so much. A Buck says, hi Ed, do you think the Vaporfly 3 made the same mistake as the Alphafly 2? It's hard to say. I think they are trying to shift kind of into this category where this shoe is now kind of like the very fast-paced kind of shoe. Not everybody's gonna. This isn't gonna work for everybody, especially with the very narrow kind of arch and the much narrower heel there. Whereas the Alphafly, there's a lot more surface area there. So I think they're aiming that shoe perhaps almost at the masses. It's a bit of an odd one. When you've got like Kipchoge, who's worn that shoe a lot, has run some incredible times in that shoe as well. It's almost like it's like the Jordan line of the Nike race shoes, and the Vaporfly is kind of like the one that's kind of under that doesn't have any particular runner attached to it. I know that the Ingebrigtsen brothers were, sort of advertising the shoe and stuff like that, but I don't think that, they're sort of more known as track athletes, really, aren't they? So it's kind of strange, that one, where they had them promoting the shoe. I am no one, says Mr. Bud, do you plan on giving the Wave Rebellion a go? Big fan from the USA and Alabama. Awesome, thanks for tuning in. I might give it a go, yeah, if I can get it at a reasonable price. It's one of those shoes that loads and loads of people have asked me to test out. Like, I've lost track. I might do a poll over on the community section of the channel soon and see which shoes people are really, really interested in. I don't want to just pick some stuff up that, people are genuinely not interested in and just reviewing it. It doesn't really work for anybody then, does it? It doesn't really do anybody any favours. So yeah, I'll see if I can do a poll and figure out what the most in-demand sort of review is, and I'll probably go with that maybe in the next couple of weeks. Richard Johnson says Mrs. Muggins has a vacant room with extra woolen duvet, boudoir, hot tea and white chocolate chip cookies. That sounds good, but the price is going to be very important there. Could be kind of cool. I could go over to a race on a train. Well, I don't think I've ever done that before, so I don't have to take my car. That would be fun. I never really want to drive after I've done like a half marathon or something anyway. That doesn't sound like a fun thing to do. Thank you very much for the super chat there from I Am No One. Very, very appreciated. Big fan. He says, how do you feel about the Mizuno Wave Rebellion? Yeah, so I'll see if I can pick that one up maybe. I think there'll be a lot of demand for that shoe for me to do a review. There has been already, in fairness. But thank you very much for the super chat. Super, super appreciated. Edgar is here from East Harlem, New York City. Amazing. Always enjoy watching your videos. Thanks for tuning in. And also appreciating the time as well. It does take a lot of time. Someone asked me about this the other day. I tend to come up with a script for the videos, just so that I can make sure I don't miss stuff, really. I don't sort of stick to it, 100%. It's about 50% probably sometimes. But yeah, I try to kind of get everything down that I want to say, and then I don't miss any important details and things. So thank you very much, Edgar, for tuning in. Richard Johnson says, apparently you are the Mandalorian. But I am into The Mandalorian. I haven't started watching the new series yet, but that is something that I may even get to do later on. Stephen C. enjoying The Beast. I'll try and catch up here because I'm obviously way behind. Let's go, Steve-O says, what's the best fitting shoe you've tried? For me, it's the Cellar Mesh of the Addy Zero Pro. The Adios Pro original, that pink crazy one. That shoe just seemed to work very well for me. Everything about it, like the fit, the lockdown. Yeah, it was something like a glove slipper like. So that's probably one of the best. And that Puma DV8 Nitro Elite 2 as well. That fits. It's like a glove, like a foot sheath. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Bazel says, managed 1 hour 5 minutes in the Burgley 7-mile road race, despite the left knee injury. Crikey. Use the Vaporfly 2, got used to the trampoline effect. Is the Vaporfly 3 more stable? I'd suggest no, it's not as stable. I don't think I don't think there's that much difference, really. It's hard to say, isn't it? Because when you've used a shoe for a while, like those, I don't know where it is right now. There's one of them here. Where's the other one? Somewhere. When you've used a shoe like this for, a period of time, it kind of beds in a little bit and the foam kind of softens up, sort of tenderizing it almost. So it always feels a little different. It's quite hard to really say whether it's massively different. Certainly at this present moment, the foam feels a lot firmer here, but I think it's probably the same stuff, really. They've just trimmed off a little bit. Richard Rendell says, hope you're being honest tonight, Ed. Good few backed you up yesterday. Yeah, there was someone sort of saying, that I was not being honest about my review. It's kind of weird, really. I just give you my observations. Some people suggest I said the upper wasn't great or whatever, but I can see it actually working for a lot of people. Yeah, my foot's kind of, I guess it's a normal width, but in terms of volume, it's a bit on the sort of narrower side, I suppose. So, the upper's probably going to work pretty well for the majority of people. I guess that's what Nike are looking for. It would be great if they'd start doing some width fittings to some of the race shoes, but I can't really see them doing that too much. It's kind of weird, really, that lots of other manufacturers do that, but they choose not to. So it would be nice if we did have a few width fittings coming up for those shoes. Mark Smith says, hi Ed, Yarmouth Seafront today, trying out the Endorphin Elites. Awesome. It's not a shoe that I've been able to get my mitts on yet. Good time there though. 1:28.51, just aiming for sub 90 despite a big wobble in miles 9 and 10. Yeah, that's always the one that gets me. It's like mile 10 when you've got like a 5k to go and you're there thinking, this is feeling pretty harsh now. That's always kind of where you need to dig in, and that's where you need the Prodigy or something in your ears to give you a little push. Everyone's enjoying the beast there. Du Bois says, any experience in ultra shoes? I did try out the Escalante a couple of years ago, but not really seen an awful lot that's made me want to go back. I didn't really mind the drop at all. It seemed quite manageable, really. I think if you slowly integrated it into your shoe rotation, it wouldn't really be too much of a problem. Mark Smith, what are the Vamazi shoes? So the interesting thing about... Oh, hang on, there's going to be an avalanche of stuff there. Oh, saved it. The interesting thing with these guys, they're kind of pace tuned. So what they've tried to do is change the foam types, the amount of foams in the heel, and I think it's kind of like the mid and forefoot, to sort of benefit people running at different pace ranges. So this one, I believe, is something like 6:30 to, I'm trying to remember now, like 6:30 to sort of 7:30, maybe 7:45, something like that, per mile. So this is the I think it's the, is this the Z40? Let me double check. This is the Z40. Yes, this is the Z40. In fact, I think there's the infos on here. 6:15 to 7 minutes 45 per mile, so that's about 3:55 to 4:45. So it's absolutely tuned to me, really, and some of my sort of faster tempo, sort of steady efforts. So it's probably a shoe I can get a whole bunch of miles into. So hopefully get some miles initially into this one tomorrow. Yeah, UK 11. I think this comes as a US 11.5 for that size. So yeah, Vimazzi, go and check them out, guys. Interesting, exciting sort of times to try out a new brand. People loving Beast making a bit of an appearance there. Let's see if we can catch up with some of the comments here. Mr. Asenia says, how close to the Vomero 16 are you finding the Forever and Nitro now that you've covered some more miles? Yeah, I've got a video coming up on that one tomorrow, just to give you the general gist of it, really. I do think it is similar to that shoe. Not perhaps quite the same, because you're missing the Zoom Air unit in the forefoot that the Vomero 16 had. But yeah, it is very close. A little bit lighter as well, just a touch lighter. James says, hi Ed, just bought a pair of the SC Elite V3 for his 10k race. How do you rate them? Not used that shoe yet, haven't picked it up. I am keen to try it at some point, though I have heard a few issues regarding the upper lockdown on that one, so maybe down the line. Diogo says, you need to do collab with Saw Running and sell some cool merch, just as the likes of Ben P. Oh, Ben Parks. Yeah, I've got a load of Saw gear, actually, they've sent me, and it is the staple stuff. I use it every single day. I really do like it. I used their sort of windbreaker type jacket today. I think the Ultra jacket as well, that's a really good one. You can layer up underneath it, and you don't get too hot. It seems to still be quite breathable, so really do like the Saw stuff. Peter Clark says he's waiting on his Vaporfly 3 still. Anyone else have it? Every as a courier? Oh, Every, yeah. Out for delivery on Wednesday, quickly changed to delayed, yeah. I have had some delays on DPD stuff recently from Nike. You know, like maybe a day later. I ordered some Jordan 6s, the cool greys, and they took a little bit longer to turn up than usual. So maybe they're having a few problems. Could be down to like lack of drivers, things like that. And the weather's been pretty poor, hasn't it, the last week or so. Liam says, what are your race day breakfast plans? Yeah, I tend to like porridge, you know, it's pretty good. With a little honey in there. Bananas as well seem to work very well for me. I probably need to eat a couple hours before. I isn't going to work if I eat too close. Then during the race, I've planned out exactly where I'm going to use some gels, take on some water where I can. I'd like to keep it pretty simple, really. Don't want too many variables there. Like, keep the variables quite simple. So making sure to take on some water sparingly, but often. As I'm doing right now, in fact. Al says, surely everyone's waiting for the Skechers Max Road 6. I need to try and see if I can even get hold of that, Al. Skechers stuff's a bit hard to get hold of in this country. Joel says, very interesting, thinking about the midfoot striking shoes with rocker sole. Do the rocker design plates assist midfoot strikers? I think they do a little bit, you know. I remember seeing a piece of research. I think it was something along the lines of 86% of the people that were running towards the end of like a marathon, the last few miles, were all heel striking. So it's like, you know, you got a whole load of different abilities there, I should imagine, round about like mile 24, 25, and the majority of people, you know, huge majority of people were heel striking. So that says a lot. Rob says he's saying preparing for dispatch on his Vaporfly 3s, ordered just after 8 AM on Monday. Yeah, it's odd, isn't it? I wonder what that's all about. Maybe they're dispatching them from like different parts of the country or something. I don't know. It seems very strange. Al says Beast has no shoes. No, I think she'd be a Puma athlete though. If Beast was going to be, maybe Beast is in fact the actual creature featured on the box. I don't know. Beast has got some sort of, side hustle going on there. Gus says, what Saucony shoe do you like the best? There's two. So I really enjoyed my time running in the Endorphin Pro 3. It's a great shoe. Really cushioned. Certainly a marathon option for people. But the one that always sticks out for me, for sort of personal reasons really, is the Saucony Endorphin Speed Original, that first version. I always remember a certain run where my son had just been born. Both my wife and my son were still in hospital for a few days after, because it was a bit of a tough time when he was first born. And I remember going for a run. It was this beautiful sunny day, and I was just running. It was so easy, you know, those runs where you just get out and you can get these great times going. It was beautiful, warm. The sun was on my back, just in vest and shorts and stuff. And I was running that shoe, and that shoe always has this wonderful memory there in my mind. So that'll be probably my favourite Saucony shoe. It was in that like white mutant colourway as well. Ken from Philly, he says, you're welcome. So new member of the channel. Thanks for supporting us, Ken. Really, really appreciate that. We're like brothers from different mothers, same shoe size and perhaps height, thinness. Muscularly challenged, but I can tell a good bad dad joke. Yeah, I'll try and get in some of those. That's cool, man. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. I will be seeing you in the comments. Carl Stokes says, just bought the brown Tom Sachs. Oh yeah, I saw that those popped up. People didn't go crazy on those. Yeah, the Puma Voyage Nitro. I want to see if I can grab a pair of those from Puma, perhaps give those a try. Just busting out some really good stuff. I'm telling you now, people, this is like going to be one of those shoes that is sleeped on a little bit. People are sort of saying, Puma really making great running shoes. Yes, yeah, they really work for me. That you haven't got all that massive stack here. It's still cushioned, yes, but yeah, if you want to run quick and you're not worried about like having this massive wedge of foam there, go for it. The Deviate Nitro Elite 2, fantastic. Torsten says, first time around the half marathon distance was right before a 4-hour gig. Before? During the gig, my hi-hat foot was constantly subdiving. I tend to end up doing runs after gigs. I can remember doing I did like a 4 or 5 mile run once with a young lady that I was seeing. This is years and years ago now, before a gig, and that really got me in the right frame of mind, for going out and rocking on the stage. I was like really up for it. I don't think the band were actually quite as up for it at the time. I think I was possibly full of adrenaline. Yeah, it was good, but yeah, I haven't ever done like a gig after a run. I'm not sure that it would be a good plan. I'd run out of energy halfway through. I'd need to have a little interlude, in the middle. Crafter Box says, are you doing the Yeovil half in 2 weeks? No, that is literally, sadly, the week before Brighton. So yeah, running a 13.1 mile effort, then that's probably not a good idea. I want to be in the best possible form ready for Brighton. Although sadly, it looks as if I'm going to have to drive over there. It looks like there's a train strike now on this Saturday, which is a real pain. So unless I go over, late Friday or something, it's going to be a bit of a pain, in all honesty. So yeah, not the greatest bit of news. I saw the other day that there's a train strike right the day before. Matthias says, greetings from Oklahoma. Appreciate you and your content. Thank you very much for tuning in. It is appreciated. Blixton's in the house. How you doing, Blixton? Long time viewer. Good to see you here. And SV, man's like Eddie, yeah, we're here. Thanks for tuning in. Mark Herbert says his wife picks up a pair. This is a good deal now. £68, the Adios Pro T from TK Maxx. Didn't need them, but couldn't say no at that price. Yep, she's supporting my habit. Yeah, that's a great price. So you can keep those aside, doing some tempo work, maybe some, some faster reps or something. That's a good price for that shoe. There's loads of pairs of them just down the road, couple of miles down the road from me in the TK Maxx. Carl says, I saw the New Balance Propel V4 in the local sporting goods store. Tried them on, huge stack. Very tempted to get them. Interesting. Looks like they're turning that Propel into something a little bit different now. It looked like a slightly lower stat before. Bernard says, hi Bed, glad actually going to check out a live stream. Thanks for dropping by and hanging out with us. The time's just flying by and I need to kind of get to some of the other stuff. There's just loads of comments, really interesting stuff to talk through. So, it's good to talk and also good to interact with you guys as well. That's the most important thing. Want a max cushion shoe to replace the Endorphin Shift V3, lean towards the more V4. What are your thoughts? Not tried out the 4. I did enjoy the Shift 3 though, a lot more than I thought I was going to. Really interesting that Saucony are using that Power Run midsole material and then within it using like different insoles, so with different foams. It's really cool. They do seem to work. I've got the guide. Is it the 16 or is it the 15? I can't remember now. I've got that to test out and the new Peregrine as well. So I do need to get out onto the trails. Hopefully it won't be too boggy over there and give the Peregrine a go. It does look like a good shoe. Gus says, do I use aftermarket insoles or use stock insoles? Most of the time just the stock ones, so I do nick them out of different shoes and place them into other ones when I need to. Richard Johnson says, Puma Nitro 2 still the best budget all-rounder? Yeah, that or the Energy 4. I don't know what's going on with Reebok. I think there's something a bit strange happening there. I think the Energy 5 was set to launch, but it seems to have completely disappeared. So who knows what's going on there. Hopefully it's not going to be knocked on the head or anything, because the Energy series is fantastic as well. So Steve says, yep, the wheels fell off at 10. Yeah, it's always the time, Steve. 10 miles is the tough bit. If you can get through that mile, then you're kind of all right after that. One of us says, would you ever be reviewing spikes? I do have a pair of the Dragonflies, but I've never had a chance to use them in anger, as it were. I only have limited access to our local track here, so it'd be great to get over there and give them a good blast and see what I can do, with spikes on the feet and just sort of the legs to propel me. Gary Bell says, Voodoo People's helped me along many a time. Yeah, there's certain tunes, a High Voltage by AC/DC, that does things to the mind. That instills a certain level of invincibility. It's almost like you feel like you're Mario and you've just picked up like a star, and there's nothing going to stop you then. What's the other one that really works? Upstarts, Johnny Marr, and there's a wonderful track actually by Johnny Marr called Dynamo. Here's your musical interlude if you're waiting for it. That is a great track. I think it's written about a building that's in Manchester. Is it the Dynamo building or something? And he's sort of singing about the building. It's kind of really cool. Guys or women normally singing about someone they really like or something, but Johnny Marr talking about a building. Doesn't get any better than that. So this is your musical interlude. Go and check that out. I think it's from Playland. His second, well, I guess his third solo album of the recent period. The second solo album, Dynamo. Go and check that one. How did I get to that? No idea. Mark C says, loves the channel. Curious what your PBs are for 5, 10, and the half and marathon. So marathon. So in anger, the Brighton Marathon will be the first one that I've ever run. I did run a time trial a couple of years back, and that was like 3:23. But I was kind of like on my own, just sort of running around, and I kind of got a bit bored at one point because it's just nothing there. It's like a person walking a dog or someone just walking along. There's nothing to sort of like generate any excitement. So yeah, I'm gonna aim for like 3:15 maybe at Brighton. We'll see how we go. For 5k, I think it's like 19:30, something like that. 10k, it's like 41 minutes, something like that. And the half, 1 hour 31. That was at Bristol. Mr. Asthenia says, fantastic. How can you remember the shoes you wore on your most memorable runs? You're the true shoe savant. Yeah, that one is special because when my little chap came into the world, it was pretty touch and go for a little while. But so that's a really special one, knowing that he was okay. And yeah, that's why I remember that one. Stephen C, 1984. Says, does your local running club hold any club races or challenges? They do put on some races. There's a 5k series that they do on Wednesday nights. I think that starts in like, got to get this right now, is it like next month or something? And they do an Easter Bunny as well in April. I think I'm away for that though. I think I'm in Boston. I can't do that one, which is a bit sad. That's on a nice flat course as well, Stephen T. You know, it's flatter than Ajax. Have I ever run in Crocs? Would you ever run in Crocs? Probably not. No, I'm a bit sort of vertically challenged anyway, so running in something like that, I'll probably do myself an injury. NYC Drumming Star says, what do you think of the new Depeche Mode single? Don't think I've heard that actually. Maybe I'll go and check that out, like on my walk to work tomorrow. I'm going to walk in tomorrow regardless of the weather. I'm sick and tired of paying for parking and the fuel and driving, you know, not an awful distance, but I think walking's good really. It's good for the soul. Not entirely sure running is always good for the soul, but I'll tell you what, a couple of weeks ago, I'll be very honest with you people, a couple of weeks ago, I was getting ready to go out, and I was going out because other people had gone out, and like, it's really bad if you are doing it because you have to do it. I like running because, like, I want to. Does that make sense? I like running because I want to go out running, rather than when I have to do it. If you feel like you have to do it, I often just say, no, I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to have a rest day. And I'm going to get my mind, you know, in the right kind of place, you know, to do it. So I enjoy it. Like the other day, going out in the Vaporflies, doing the 1k reps. That was really fun. I literally ran until it hurt at one point, which was really, really fun. And I enjoyed it. But there's other days where I've just thought, actually, I'm just going to go out around the block, you know, and just do it for myself mentally. It's always got to be about yourself, you know. Yeah, Amado, he knows. Running for pleasure is the only way. It kind of reminds me of that old record label, Music for Pleasure. One thing, Amado, this week, I have just been rinsing the whole week De La Soul and Tribe Called Quest all week. It's all I can hear in my mind. Really been enjoying the fact that those tracks are now, it's the De La Soul tracks are out and people can hear them. There's loads of young people that have never heard this stuff before, and now they're like absorbing it, and it's so great seeing them getting into this stuff. It's so fun. Gareth Phillips says, are you curious about the Wave Rebellion Pro? See, everybody's into that shoe. I think if I do a poll up on the community section of the channel, that will be the one that everybody's into. If you're in the chat or you're watching, please do hit the like button. It really helps us out to propel us into new zones, like good zones where sort of perhaps people haven't checked out the channel. The last month has been like one of the best months for new subscribers. It's crazy. It's almost like 2,000 subscribers the last month or so. So hitting that like button really helps out amazingly. So thank you all for tuning in as well and supporting us here on EDDBUD Running Shoe Reviews. Let's see what we got going on. Mario is looking for some carbon super shoes. with a spacious toe box. Adios Pro 3, that's the one for you. Much sort of wider, more space there in the front of the shoe. That should do the trick. Hadea loves the channel. Keep it up, he says. I shall try my best. Lewis is in the house. He says, just worn out my Invincible Run 1s. What easy long run shoes do you recommend? Puma, Forever and Nitro. Great shoe. It's not as sort of super squashy as the Invincible Run. A little bit more guided. It's supposed to be like a stability shoe, but I don't really feel any of that in the shoe whatsoever. Get some miles into it, it kind of softens up a little bit, and then it feels, it's just lovely and forgiving there. Really does feel, it felt great today. 12 miles and my legs feel superb. That says a lot, I think. 8 minutes per mile pace. So easy zone for me, and it just felt wonderful. Really, really good shoe. Again, it's flying under the radar a little bit, that one. Mark says here, Prodigy Breathe is a great racetrack. Certainly is. That's a good one. What's the other? Down Payment Blues by AC/DC. That, again, sends you to a special place when some of the solos kick in. Absolutely fantastic. You could probably do a whole race playlist of AC/DC. There's so many good ones that have got that tempo that you want. It's really up for it. Andrew WK as well. I bet you could do a pretty good Andrew WK race playlist. Joe McDonald says, do you know about the issues surrounding the company that are putting the Brighton Marathon on? It's London now. London have taken it over. So the others are just completely out of the picture. It's London running it now. Rare Air 2 would say the Vaporfly is a huge improvement over the 2. I wouldn't say it's a huge improvement. It's more like a remix, really. I almost think they could have called it like a 2.5 or something like that. It doesn't feel massively dissimilar. There's similar things about it. I'm still not dead set on this whole sort of diagonal lacing thing. I think they should have just gone standard sort of thing. The Flynet on the Vaporfly 4% Flynet was, why not just carry on using that? That'll work great. Get that, put it on this midsole and outsole, you got a good shoe. It's not going to be that much heavier. I think it will just be, that will clear up. I think that would eliminate a lot of the opposition. But, it's got to be see-through, it's got to be super light, It doesn't need to be, really. Richard Johnson, best running all-rounder socks. Crikey. I've got 2 pairs of these Adidas socks. They're a little bit thicker, but I can't seem to find if there's like a new version of them or not. I just can't spot them anywhere. I need to try and find out. I'll see if I can put something up in like the comments or something later on. I'll pin the comment if I can figure out what they are. But they are fantastic. They wash really well. They hold together. They're a little bit more kind of cushioned, I suppose, but they are superb. Good to see Amado here. Thank you, Amado. I don't know if you're allowed to put links. It lets you put links up, but Amado writes some fantastic running shoe and sneaker related content. Really, really good stuff. I'll see if I can stick a link in the description of this video so you can go and check out some of his stuff. Absolutely fantastic if you're into sneakers or history and kind of discussion, I suppose. Stephen C, flatter than Ajax. He knows. I'd really like to do like Amsterdam Marathon actually at some point. I really want to do that one. I'll go over on a boat. I'll hire myself a boat. You can come with me, Steve. And we'll get out into the ocean there. We'll ask some directions from a oil rig. It'll be fantastic. Oh, I really want to watch that now. I'll try and catch up with some of these comments here. Carl, do you live in London? No, I'm out in the sticks, down in Somerset, with the cows. There are cows literally just hundreds of meters from me, a few hundred meters. I can almost hear them on some days, and it's so quiet down here in the mornings. You can hear the train go by. It's quite pleasant, really. 3 Feet High and Rising was great. Yeah, it's a brilliant. Say No Go as well. What a tune! What a tune! Mr. Athenia says, "Do you take shoe donations?" I've got a pair of Addy Stars. No, I've moved my pair of the Addy Stars on to pastures new. There was someone else now. No, it just didn't work for me. Rob Weatherall says, "Marathon training this year has been tough. Looking forward to the end and getting back to just running on my own jam. Losing the love." Yeah, this is the problem, you see. Like marathon training, you gotta like be hitting the marks, haven't you? You've got to be getting those, long slogs in sometimes. So I've tried to mix it up as much as possible, but putting in like some rest days so I can kind of get the, the want back again, if that makes sense. Also, Amado's just been out in the Takumi Sen 8s. What a shoe. What a shoe. One of the best of last year, certainly. Rob's even bought himself a road bike. Yeah, maybe just mixing it up a little bit, Rob. It just keeps you excited, doesn't it? It keeps you interested. Still a bit like sort of guitars and that. That's why I like sort of playing different guitars, or like take something else with me on a certain gig, just to spice it up a bit. Can I perform, this Status Quo number on a Strat? Probably not actually, but it's good fun trying. Mace Windex says, "Why do Nike always make high arches?" I don't know. Why do they do that? Adidas football socks are great. Maybe I should try out some of those, Amado. That might be a good plan. In fairness, I want to bag myself a football shirt at some point in the near future, so maybe I'll grab some socks at the same time. Jogan Roche says, "Hi Ed, how would you compare the upper and comfort of the Vaporfly 3 compared to the Endorphin Pro 3? Ooh. Now, the Endorphin Pro 3 is certainly more squashy. This feels like it's got a little bit more sort of rebound to it now. It certainly has that sort of brittle feel back again. But they're certainly coating this Zoom X in something now. It's not like the old days. It doesn't feel anywhere near the same. And I think perhaps that coating is kind of giving it that sort of rebound sort of feel. So, yeah, if you want all-out squash, you're probably best off going with that Endorphin Elite 3. The Endorphin Pro 3. Stance do great socks. They certainly do. Yeah, my Stance socks seem to never, ever sort of fail. You wash them over and over again, and they still keep on doing what they need to do. James, a bit late on the stream, he says, "Really like the Invincibles. What other shoes are similar? Cheers for the content." There's nothing quite like the Invincible. It's got its very own thing going on there. If you want all-out super squish and cushion, though, do try the Primex. Do try it if you can find perhaps a discounted pair. They are worth testing out. Just please only use it on a sort of very straight bit of road that's got no potholes or strange camber or anything like that. I've got a couple of moments. I'll try and get through last few here. Or we could navigate across the ocean with the stars. Yeah, good suggestion there. Willie Diaz, thanks for tuning in, Willie. He's been out 10-miler, 78-degree weather. Is that pretty? That's pretty potent weather, I think. Rob there, he says, "Ed, how many miles or kilometers do you have in your Primex strung?" I think about 130 miles in that one. They just never seem to get. They just get better almost. They're getting better. I don't quite get it. They're just improving. Peter says, "What do you think about the Gary Lineker thing?" Whoa, that's a good one to do right at the end of the stream. I think that Gary Lineker has got a point. And there is certain language that's being used by certain people that they need to just think a little bit more carefully. The way they present things, the way they put them across, and perhaps begin to show a little bit of empathy. I guess it's easy to make decisions when you're sat behind a desk or something somewhere, but when you actually see how it affects the real folk out there, it's a little bit different. So I think that's what I think about that one. But I'm not a big fan of just watching football just with the crowd noise, because even when you go to watch a football match, you don't just get crowd noise, you get people all around you that are talking and kind of discussing things. So yeah, I hope that can be rectified very soon. Right, I'm going to draw this one to a close here. Thank you very much, people, for tuning in today. Mace Windex, yeah, that is the Vimazi behind me. Really looking forward to testing that one out. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, do hit that like button. It really helps us out. And hit us up with a super thanks, perhaps down below if you're watching this retrospectively. That really does help the channel out too. There's lots of stuff coming up this week. We do have a review of that Vimazi, the Z40. I will have a more in-depth comparison against the Vaporfly 3 and some of the other models out there. Certainly be the Endorphin Pro 3. I'm going to try and get out on the Peregrines from Saucony this week too on the trail. So lots of stuff coming up. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll be seeing you.